So a lot of this has, came up after Madeline died, and I fled, and the reality of the situation hit me. Um, that was so sweet, keeping Madeline from them. Judy comes over one day. She knocks on the door. I open it just a crack. I look out. She's like, "Is Madeline awake?" And she took a step forward like I was going to open the door. I said no and slammed the door shut and fucking locked it. And I hear from the other side of the door, "You can't keep Madeline from us." Oh, yeah, well, I got this, ring on her finger. We never got my ring, but I had this ring on her finger that said otherwise. Yeah, I can keep her from you, and I did. It's your own fucking fault, you stupid fucking people. So, Angie came out. God, Angie, I'm sorry. I promised you I'd pay the money, and I didn't. I'm sorry. I will get it to you as soon as I can. She comes out, and she helps me the last 3-4 days of Angie's life. And, I felt so guilty, man. She walked in and started cleaning up, and I felt guilty. "No, Angie, no." And she's going, "John, that's why I came." And I'm going, "Thank you." Yeah. And, Train, calling all you angels, man. Angie, Trudy, Marguerite, Rochelle, my daughter Alicia, my daughter Madison, Charlie, calling all you angels, man. You all stepped up. I'm alive because Charlie, those people knew that there was somebody that cared about me, that if they offed me, they were going to be asking questions. Charlie came up, man. He'd come up a couple times a week, visit Madeline and me. He became good friends with Madeline too, which I thought was really cool. And, Charlie knows me. He knows that all I cared about was Madeline. I didn't give a shit about anything else, just taking care of Madeline. There was nothing else in it for me but to take care of her. So Angie comes, and thank God, man. Thank God for witnesses, That last days of Madeline's life, that was one of the worst times of my life. I'm a caregiver. I've had 15, 20 clients die that I was involved in their last week. Maybe not the day they died, but, 3 or 4 of them the day they died. The lady who killed her husband by, he's laying there on his back on the hospital bed in the room, and she walks in 2 o'clock in the morning and drops 3 vials of morphine down his throat. Fucker died. She killed him. I came away that morning going, wow, John, she just killed her husband. And, God, that's the morning I met Charlie. He was the caretaker at Dungeness River Bridge Park, and he's out there picking trash, getting the trashes at all the trash cans and just making his rounds. And I walked with him and told him my story about this lady that just killed her husband and shit, man. I was so pissed off at Dortha. And he was such a cool guy, Tom Dugan, man. He canoed, and I grew up with the canoe, and he had pictures and stuff, man. He had a cloth canoe that had patches. I didn't care. It floated. It did what I wanted. He got up to the Quetico and the Boundary Waters up there, northern Minnesota, the southern part of Canada there. And he knew what I was talking about. He had a 17-foot canoe out there. And I think I had some really strange family dynamics. I mean, he was teasing his daughter one day, and his wife got really pissed off at him, just for daring to do that or whatever. She sold his canoe. He had a 17-foot Grumman canoe, just like the one I grew up with, and she sold it and just waved the check under his nose. And that was like, he was dead within like a week later, man. He just gave up. If anybody I'd ever seen ready to die, it was Tom Dugan, man. And I was there that morning, when he took his last breath. And, it was like, I was supposed to work till 6. I remember calling to work saying he died. I'm going to sit with her. And they're going, "No, check out and leave." And I'm going, "Fuck you. I'm not leaving this widow here. There's no way. You can kiss my ass. I'm not, leave her with this dead body waiting for whoever to come pick him up." So anyway, I sat there with her. And the thing about her was, in 1983, she had gotten out of bed and was paralyzed from the waist down, and they never knew why. So she was in a wheelchair or in bed. And it was kind of, we got screwed because we were taking care of two people. Tom was our client, but we were dealing with her and taking care of her and fucking cleaning up her hemorrhoids. Oh, it was like the first time I cleaned her up, I went, I must have gone, and she went, yeah, I know, they're bad. You know, it's like, oh, so anyway, that happened to her in 1983, and he went to work and left her alone. So she was pissed off, I think, about that, and she killed him. You know, and the amazing thing about that is I was so angry at her for so long because, you know, of anybody I've ever met, Tom Dugan was ready to die. You know, he had that hunchback where his spine was higher than his head. You know, he walked around like that. There's a pond about a quarter of a mile up from where they live, this little chicken shit pond. And I was thinking, man, Tom and I could go throw that canoe on the top of my truck. We could take it up there. He would help me carry it. He would, I mean, sit in the back and steer. It would have been the time of his life. And I knew that there was no way that I could do that for him. You know, that anybody would say, yeah, John, you could take him out canoeing. You know, I would have just, I know that guy would have put the effort and the energy into it. I mean, he loved canoeing. The only thing I've ever stolen from a client was I took his sharpening stone and I took the clip, the rope with the clip on it for his canoe. Because aluminum canoe, you just need a little shit quarter-inch line, you know, nothing, you know. But it's real easy. You have a clip on both ends, and that's the only thing I ever stole was a 30-foot, you know, piece of twine and a sharpening stone. It said Tom Dugan or T Dugan on there, and that's like, you know, anytime I ever use it, it's sitting up at the house. I haven't had it in 9 months, but I'll get it. Anyway, I got off on a tangent there. So Angie came and, you know, saved my ass. I love you, Angie. Thank you so much. She was, you know, the thing I needed. I didn't need help with Madeline. I needed help taking care of me. And I'm like, yeah, I'm a caregiver. I know what to do. I'm never gonna, you know, I didn't take care of myself. I was in really bad shape when Madeline died because I gave everything I had to her. And, you know, so the day Madeline died was a Sunday, and okay, Friday I had Jeanette, whatever the fuck her last name is, starts with a W, I think. Anyway, she her caregiver that took care of Madeline, you know, you know, 4 or 5 days a week at Sinclair Place when I was there. She was always there, you know, during the day with Madeline. And I'm sure I pissed them off because I took one of their clients away. It's like, fuck you. I took your client away, you fucking bitch. We're going to get to Jeanette. So Angie, you know, the day she died, okay, the Friday before, I had called Jeanette's work. And I had said, if Jeanette wants to make, you know, come make her final goodbyes, she needs to do it. I said, they go, what do you want? And I said, well, number one, don't come alone. And number two, call me and let me know when you're coming. They go, okay, no problem. We'll pass the message on. And so I don't hear anything. It was common courtesy. It was just professional courtesy on my part. Madeline loved her. And Jeanette stole her fucking $500, Madeline. She took it, you know. And so, but Madeline loved her. You know, Madeline lost the money. As far as Madeline was concerned, she stepped out, pulled it out of her pocket, dropped, she walked away, it was gone. That is not what happened. But anyway, so Jeanette shows up Sunday morning, like 10:30, 11 o'clock, and just parks and blocks our driveway, and some big oaf doofus looking motherfucker gets out with her, and she walks up to the door. No, I stuck my head out the window and I said, you're too late. She's fucking dead. And shut the door. And she comes up and stands on the door, at the door, and I open it and I say, it's too late. I said, you should have fucking come yesterday and called. Now move your fucking car out of my fucking driveway. You're blocking my driveway. So she goes back there and she calls, she talks to Dell and Judy, and they call the sheriffs to get a wellness check on Madeline. This motherfucker, Deputy Kitchen, shows up at the fucking door telling me he has a right to come in my house and make a wellness check. And I go, get a search warrant. If you want to come in, get a search warrant. Second time I say that, no, second time he's saying he can come in, I say, no, you go back and you get a search warrant and you can come in here. And I 7 times, Angie said she thought it was 7. I think it was 6. You know, I would say for 6 times, I'm telling this motherfucker he is not coming in my house. He stuck his foot in the door. I couldn't shut the door. You know, get the fuck out of my house. Angie's going, John, calm down. And I'm going, no, Angie. This is, I'm standing up here. Nobody fucking else is standing up for me. Everybody else just, you know, underestimates me, brushes me aside, has no, you know, clue who I am or what I'm about. And I'm going, man, if you want to see her, she's not dead. She's in there breathing. She's not dead yet. I told Jeanette she was, but I lied to the cop and I said that I said she was gone. She is gone, man. She'll never fucking wake up and say I love you, John, again. I mean, she's gone. She's breathing. I don't know how she was breathing, man. That last hours of her life, I'd go stand at her head, go kneel at her head. She ended up being on the floor in this, you know, air pad, you know, this queen size air pad I had bought. And we did the hospital bed, and she gyrated around the bed so much she slid out of the bed and got her head stuck between the up and down part. She's going, I hear this, I look down, I'm coming down the stairs, I look, and she's fucking about to hang herself on this hospital bed. I'm going, Jesus, get that the fuck out of here. I couldn't believe that, man. She almost killed herself on that hospital bed. So we got rid of it. She's on the floor. I wanted to be there for Madeline. I don't know if she was conscious. I don't know if she knew what was going on around her. Dortha Dugan, when you killed your husband, it made it okay for me to put morphine in Madeline's mouth. The difference was Madeline was kind of on her side, and half the morphine I dribbled into her mouth just dribbled right out. I hope. I know you get some on your mucous membrane and stuff, on your tongue and on your lips and stuff, and I tried to do that a little bit just so she'd get some, you know, and I'd kneel at her, and her breathing, man, you know, Madeline smoked. It just, all that shit in our lungs, she was, every breath was going through that. I'm going, how are you getting oxygen? I'd sit at her head and go, I said, Madeline, if you're holding on for me, please don't hold on for me. I know it's time, the peace on the other side, Madeline. If anybody's going to heaven, you are. You know, you were an example of Jesus. You talked about Jesus sacrificing. You know, that's all it takes to go to heaven. It's what I've been told. It's what I read in the Bible. You profess Jesus. You know, he died for our sins so that nothing else had to be sacrificed. That's what that was for. We don't have to sacrifice anymore. God didn't want us sacrificing, so he took his only son. So that fucking cop, I finally get him convinced. I'm sitting there and I go, it was funny because the second time I'm telling him, no, you're not coming in, I say, go get a warrant. Come back with the warrant. I'll let you in. The 6th time, he's going, so you want me to go get a warrant? And he rolled his fucking eyes imperceptibly, but he rolled them because he's going, okay, man, it's, you know, 5 minutes down that dirt, muddy driveway, you know, 18 minutes back into town, getting, you know, printing the thing out, getting it signed, coming back out here, you know, going through the same drive. I could just see it, you know, and finally, I just said, I dropped my shoulders and I said, then push past me, motherfucker. Then push past me. And that's when he fucking backed off. He couldn't push past me. Angie said that she was in there breathing. I mean, you know, fuck you, man. What you did, what you took from me. I'm pointing him. I'm in my fucking kitchen pointing at him. He told me he's going to break my fucking finger if I point at him again. Fuck you, kitchen. You are the biggest motherfucker there is. You should not be a fucking police officer. Deputy Kitchen, I wish I had your first name, you motherfucker. What you took from me, you should not have a badge and you should not have a gun. You just walked up there, went on what those stupid fucking people told you and just fucking went with it. You had no consideration for me. So fuck you, you motherfucker. If I ever see you, I'm going to tell you that too.